Back again. Oh, was it counting down on us? It went away. Where'd it go? Oh.
Welcome to the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. We are back, ready to talk some football. We got past that off-season blues, and we're ready to get ready for the draft. The draft is a month away. I think it's 2 months away, actually. I guess a month and a half.
Month and a half, yeah.
Into April. Woo! How you doing, Eric?
I'm good. How are you, Brad?
No, I'm great. I'm ready to talk some football, man.
Let's do it.
I don't know. I got kind of down around the holidays. I don't know what it was.
Didn't we all?
Looking away, had a great Super Bowl, had great playoffs, kept me alive for football.
Oh, man. The playoffs this year were phenomenal. Super Bowl was great, but the playoffs, man, they were top-notch.
Get rid of the wild card week of really all blowouts.
Yeah. I mean,
but after
give those guys a tune-up game. Whatever. That's fine. I'm okay with it. It's fun to watch Dallas lose in the wild card round when they're, a 3-seed or 4-seed. It's great. Because they're trash. Trashy, trash.
We haven't talked about that. We haven't talked about, what was it, 7 seconds on the clock and you take a 14-yard quarterback sneak?
Unbelievable. Just the worst. They are the worst team
on the line.
Ever.
Put the ball in your playmakers' hands.
Yeah. Well, first of all,
we'll get into some of those playmakers aren't going to be there next year.
No, they sure ain't. But yeah, they're just a garbage team. And I love how there was all this buzz Kellen Moore's going to get a head coaching job. Why? Why on earth would you give him a head coaching job? He just did that nonsense. And then everybody's upset, Dak's yelling at the refs I didn't know they had to touch the ball. Why don't you know the rules? That's your job. You get paid an absorbent amount of money, probably way too much for your skill level, by the way, to know that stuff, and he doesn't. So yeah, dude, the line judge has to touch the ball. So what a joke!
Oh yeah,
the old Dallas clowns, as I like to call them.
Oh man, but yeah, there's been tons of coaching changes, tons of news to talk to. It's been way too long since we've been over. I think what would you say? Almost 3 months since we've done a show.
Yeah, easy. Yep, at least that. Yep. Almost 4, I think. No, 3. Yeah.
Yep.
But little hiatus.
You know what? You brought up the coaching changes. Let's get into them.
Okay.
Right? We have a lot of coaching vacancies. We'll start with this one. Houston Texans hire Lovie Smith.
Don't love it.
He's got a good look with that white beard, though.
I do love the beard. It's very nice. He looked good on the sidelines with the beard. He's just he's a defensive coach.
I don't know what you really expect from this team, so I hope it's just not a 1 year and we're going to fire you right away.
Oh, that would be messed up. Yeah.
And because there's a lot going into that. They wanted to hire Josh McCown, but after what happened with the other coaching job, and with all the race, there was a lot of speculation on. They just did it just to save face, but whatever. Hopefully they give Lovie Smith a couple years. He's never really been a bad coach.
No, but he was kind of middle of the road.
A mediocre coach. Never underperformed, never overperformed. Usually you weren't excited, but you weren't hating life.
Yeah. If I were them, I'd try to hire away Joe Brady. What is he, a receivers coach now or a quarterbacks coach after the Panthers fired him? I think he's a good coordinator. They got rid of him because he didn't want to run. Supposedly, he didn't want to run McCaffrey into the ground, which I can't imagine why you would want to do that. He's a very valuable piece.
30 touches in a game they were up by 2 scores?
He did, but I think he was forced to, and he didn't agree with that.
Yeah.
So I would try to lure him away for the offensive side of the ball, and then let Lovie do the defensive stuff because he's never been an offensive guy. I mean, clearly with Rex Grossman and whatnot. So
then the New Orleans Saints, they go out and get Dennis Allen after, oh my God, what's their old coach's name? Sean Payton stepped away.
Future Cowboys coach Sean Payton, thank you.
Maybe. We'll see. He's going to go to the booth for a little bit. But Dennis Allen, another defensive-minded guy, is going to New Orleans, and I don't know what that quarterback situation is going to look like there.
Oof. That's just rip Alvin Kamara, rip Michael Thomas's value, like all those guys. And why does Taysom Hill make so much money? I have over the cap up right now because I was looking at the Cowboys salaries earlier.
Yeah,
and New Orleans cap situation is
none.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's not as bad as it was, but it certainly ain't good. And Taysom Hill makes a lot of money to not play quarterback very well.
Yeah, to be a gadget guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that quarterback situation is a nightmare, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, Alvin Kamara, I'm a little nervous about that, especially when he might be facing some charges.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot about
that.
It was it assault?
Yeah,
he assaulted somebody, right? In Vegas?
He somebody at the club.
Oh, boy. Oh, no. Yeah, he might end up on the exempt list, which is sad because I'm pretty sure he finished as a running back 1 again this year for like the 6th straight season or whatever it is, because he's still fantastic no matter what. He just wasn't quite as, his like top 5 self.
The Bears go out and sign. They get Matt Uberflus. He was the former defensive coordinator for the Colts. He's going to be the new Bears quarterback.
As long as they let Blazer, whatever his name is, as long as they let him call plays, I'm okay with it.
You know how like Google, when you search something, they'll have like the people also ask questions down there.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is he a good coach?
Oh,
that's the first thing.
I think as a defensive coordinator, maybe, but as a head coach, the word's probably still out.
Like you said, I want to know what his coaching staff looks like and see how it's going to work with Justin Fields there. Are they going to help develop him, or is this going to be I don't know.
I hope so. I mean, I don't know if who he's gonna have to throw to, because all the rumors is that Robinson's gonna leave, so that kind of hurts his passing value. He's still got a lot of rushing upside. And then if they build in kind of an RPO offense with David Montgomery, because Tariq Cohen is supposedly going to be a cap casualty here soon.
Yeah. He tweeted, "How do I file for unemployment?"
Oh, did he really?
Yeah,
that's funny. I mean, they could draft a receiver. They could absolutely draft a receiver. This is a okay depth class for receiver, so they could find somebody. But
a lot of holes in that team, though. A lot of holes in that team.
Yeah. That's for sure.
The biggest coaching news of the offseason was probably Miami, though, with Brian Flores coming out and suing the NFL. And this is why Lovie Smith got hired, and saying that he was paid money to lose game, offered,
Yeah.
Because they wanted to tank.
Story.
Yes.
Which, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's absolutely 100% possible, but I don't think
there were other coaches that came out and said that similar things were offered to them with the Browns and other places.
Sure, wouldn't surprise me.
No, but they go out and get Mike McDaniel to help with the offense. He was the former 49ers offensive coordinator.
Okay.
So I really get nervous about offense coordinators that come from a head coach that's very involved in the offense. Like, how much did he do with the offense?
Yeah, because it's Shanahan running it. Yeah.
Yes.
But like, if he learned it and he can maybe transplant it and it works for those personnel, that's fine. It's when you try to pigeonhole a guy into a system doesn't work.
Well, my thing was he calling plays? Is he going to call plays in Miami? Or is he going to have to hire a guy to call plays? Because we know Shanahan was probably calling the offensive plays.
More than likely, yeah.
And how is that going to affect
even though he lost again?
Is he going to go all crazy like the Chargers coach and just go for it on 4th down every time because, hey, I'm going to make my name that I'm not Sean McVay. I'm a wild card.
I mean, statistically, it is the right thing to do most of the time. But
sometimes. The Broncos, who we'll talk about a lot on this show, they went out and got Nathaniel Hackett. Right?
Yeah, he was a OC for the Jags back when Bortles was playing there. When they dragged that team to when that defense dragged them to an AFC Championship game.
He was previously the offensive coordinator for Green Bay, so maybe a little bit Green Bay offense. That's why a lot of the rumors were that they were going to get Rodgers, but that didn't happen. Minnesota goes out and gets Kevin O'Connell. Yep, he was the Rams offensive coordinator. So another Rams offensive coordinator getting another job. We'll see how this works out.
Uh-huh. As long as
The
Kirk's
Raiders-
back there, you're probably still going to be mediocre. Sorry, bud.
The Raiders go get Josh McDaniels, baby. He
Yeah,
finally
they
actually
finally-
took this job.
Yeah, he pried him away from New England finally. I wonder what was different about this because wasn't he offered the San Francisco job a couple years ago?
Colts. Remember, he took the Colts
Oh, the
job.
Colts
and
job.
then
That's
he
right. That's right.
Backed out on it.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah,
Maybe he
so-
got tired of waiting for Belichick to retire.
Yep. The Jaguars go away from good old
Thank goodness. Urban Meyer. Oof.
oof, Urban. Oh man, they go get Doug Peterson, Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Super.
I like this though.
I do like this because I think he could actually help develop Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, ETN comes back. We got a chart coming back from injury.
I hope
we
he
got
uses ETN a little
Laviskis.
bit better than the Eagles used their running backs in the last couple of years. So
I mean, we'll see how he plays, but he's got some offensive weapons there, right? They need to share the lineup, but I don't think the offense is going to be the problem for Jacksonville. I think they can work most of that. And if you're a Trevor Lawrence owner, you got to love this
agreed. Yeah. No, this is
because he
I mean,
had some good games
things are looking up.
with Myers' terrible offense.
Yeah. He did have some flashes, a couple of flashes.
Yeah.
Not many, but I would after hearing the way he was running things, I would be pretty disheartened when I went out there too. So I can't really blame him for playing poorly.
He's called a kicker, not kick him. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Giants go out and get Brian DeBole from the Bills offense coordinator.
Yeah. Now that I like.
I wonder what this means for the quarterback situation in the Giants. Is he going to try to bring in his own guy? Trying to bring in somebody different? Is he going to roll the dice with
Mitch Trubisky?
No, Mitch Trubisky's a free agent. They could sign him.
Yeah, they could sign him.
Who's the Giants quarterback? Turnover king kid.
Danny Jones.
Danny Jones, yeah.
Yep.
Is he going to try to roll with Danny Jones for one more year?
I think so.
Who's getting close to that fifth-year option, which is going to be a price tag.
Yeah, I think they'll run with Jones again. And Saquon is supposedly on the trade block, so I don't know what that like. Obviously, as a fantasy owner, I don't want really any part of that offense. Maybe Jones, if I'm in Superflex and I don't have a better option. But you should have better options than him.
Yes,
his rushing upside is nice because people still don't think of him as a rushing quarterback, and he's certainly good at running. So he has some upside there, but he should be a bye week fill-in at best. Yeah. And everybody else, like Saquon, some of the statistics that have come out on him in the offseason, like about how many negative plays he takes in the taken in the last 3 years, is insane.
Well, that was his thing coming out of college.
Yeah.
Well, she wasn't a consistent, get you 4-yard guy. He was a 1-2, maybe lose a couple, and then break a big one guy.
Yeah. That's what
he did at Penn State.
It seems like he's always looking for the big play instead of I only need to get 4 here to stay on schedule. Let's just make sure I get 4. So supposedly he's on the block, which, this whole Giants offense for fantasy, just sell. Whatever you can get for these guys at this point. Maybe hang on to Saquon and hope he ends up in a better situation, but are his knees going to hold up? Probably not. At this point, I'm going to say no. Yeah.
Yeah. And where's he going to go and what kind of committee is he probably going to be in?
Sure. Other than Miami or Buffalo, he's a committee. Yeah. So.
Yep. All right, let's talk about some of these movers and shakers and people moving all around the place. We'll talk about people who stayed home first. Mike Williams signs a 3-year, $60 million deal with the Chargers.
Love it.
He was wide receiver 1 last year, wide receiver 12 on the year.
Yeah, he was gangbusters for the first 8 games of the season. He was, he was the wide receiver 1 over Cooper Kupp, who ended up winning the Triple Crown. So,
so if you have Mike Williams too, the great thing I think about Mike Williams is he's probably not your number 1 wide receiver when you look at your team on your depth chart. Mm-mm. You probably got him as your 2 or 3 wide receiver if you're in Dynasty. Yeah.
I didn't realize Keenan Allen finished just ahead of him at 11.
Yeah.
Good for you, Keenan.
Slinging the ball, baby.
He had such a quiet season, though. 106 receptions and 1,100 yards. Good for you, Keenan Allen. All right, let's go.
Yep. But Mike Williams stayed there. So Then the Rodgers of it all, right? Aaron Rodgers. He wants traded. I want out of here. I can't
So
stand this
sick of you,
franchise.
Aaron.
Oh, wait, hold on. You want to make me the highest paid quarterback in the league? Yeah, 4 years. Was it 4 years, $200 million?
Yeah, $150 million guaranteed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Green Bay. Yeah. I love you guys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
By
back
the
for
way,
another one.
Devontae, you wanted a long-term deal? Sorry, I'm getting mine. You're getting franchised, bud. Like, what a loser. You
So-
talk about winning all the time, and then you don't just follow the Brady model. Like, how much money do you
If
have
you
to make,
look
dude?
at it, though, him re-signing this deal, even though he gets more money, it does help the cap this year. Now, the cap, if you want to do what the Rams are doing, where you just keep selling the future and eventually, hopefully, you're the GM who's gone by the time you got
Chips
to worry
all
about
in,
paying that
man.
bill.
Yeah,
Yeah. It worked for the Rams. They won a Super Bowl. So,
it did.
hey, and Rodgers has been won back-to-back MVPs. We can say one about it. This will be another one and done in the playoffs for him. But, hey, he'll get his.
With that team, yeah, he's getting his money. But, like, again, with that team, they have
And I
holes
don't
on
know who
defense. The
who's gonna be the wide
offensive
receiver,
line's
too?
getting old. Yeah, you've got
MVS is a free agent.
Yep.
And they can't, supposedly, based on what his market price is, they can't afford it.
I think Lazard is a free agent too, and Tunyon.
Yes.
So
Yes.
they've got Amari Rodgers,
Equinemius St. Brown.
Equinemius St. Brown, and
I think.
Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
And it's not like
Actually,
Devontae
I don't
has
even know.
been injury proof.
I don't even know. Actually, no, I think Equinemius is gone too.
So they have Rodgers and Amari Rodgers and
And some
Devontae
dude
Adams
off the street that was on the
under
press-
contract. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, they have Randall Cobb, right? Or is he a free
no,
agent
they
too?
don't. Yes.
So they have nobody. They have nobody to throw
Well,
to.
I think they're going to cut him to save money on the cap to make
Oh.
all this work.
But Aaron's okay with that now, huh?
Yeah. He got his.
Yeah, he got paid. Okay. What a
Yeah.
jerk.
Well, yeah. So there's that. So we'll see. I mean, Aaron Rodgers still in fantasy will be a QB1. He'll get
Yeah.
Devontae Adams, who
Top 5 guy.
Is he still your wide receiver one?
Over Cup, I would say yes, just because of the consistency year to year. I would still rather have Devontae Adams than Cooper Cup. That's just me.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if, I'm looking at right now. I don't know if Cooper Cup's going to get 191 targets when OBJ comes back and they get almost
is he,
a full
though?
season. I think he's coming back. I think he'll take a pay cut to come back.
No, he blew his knee out in the Super Bowl.
Well,
He
right.
tore his ACL in the Super Bowl.
Look how fast
Yeah.
Cam Akers came back, though. He'll be
That
ready.
was an Achilles.
Same, but different. He'll be back in time for most of the season, I think.
Ligament to ligament, boys.
Yeah, they'll replace it with a cadaver ligament. He'll rehab. He'll be fine. I bet he's back by week 6. I'll put
I
a
don't
pie
know,
on
man.
it.
It's second
Week 6.
ACL, and it was straight up non-contact. And OBJ was
Yeah.
balling out in the Super Bowl.
He
Grinding.
was. He was going to get MVP. He was balling.
Yeah. Because he had the first touchdown, and he was
Yep.
working his magic, and Jalen Ramsey.
Just watching those giant mitts just stretch and just pluck that ball out of the air. Man, he's a good receiver when he's healthy, but he just can't stay away from the injury bug, unfortunately. But
Yep.
yeah, I don't think Cup will get 191 targets with OBJ, and Woods
And
will
the
be
thing
back.
is-
And then you got Cam Akers.
And if you're
and
going
the
into a redraft, like, the thing is, couple probably get drafted first. And if you can get Devontae Adams at the end of the first round on that turn,
Absolutely. Thank you.
yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah. If you're having
Jonathan
redraft,
Taylor probably goes number 1. If Christian McCaffrey stays with the Panthers, he probably goes number 2.
what do you mean if he stays with? Are there rumors about him moving?
Well, we'll get into that in here in a minute.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I'm going into some other stuff that happened before it to what's happening now. But yeah,
Okay.
just ifs,
Yeah. Love to get
But
Devontae
yeah,
at
so-
the end of the first round, though. That'd be great.
or in the late middle. Like he might be a seventh pick or something because people will still take running backs.
They will. But man,
And
he's
maybe
good.
a quarterback might go up there too because people are crazy.
The only
you
running
never know
back
that.
he didn't outscore was Jonathan Taylor last year.
Yeah.
So in PPR, of course.
Yes. Okay, there's that. And then Calvin Ridley is sort of staying with his team, but he won't be with his team.
Did you see his tweet?
Which one?
I bet
the fake tweets?
$1,500. I don't have a gambling problem.
Okay, those are fake tweets. Okay, those aren't real.
Was
Yeah.
it though? Was
Yeah,
it?
it was. Okay, I went to his real Twitter feed just to see. It was at least
Oh.
not up there anymore.
Too funny though, if it was real.
Yeah. Don't worry. In Madden, they have little like personality traits, and his is a gambler. He gambles on the big play. People have been posting that, like, people saying Madden isn't realistic, and I'm like,
Gee.
Madden's probably trying to patch that real quick.
What a weird situation. For anybody that doesn't know, apparently during 4 weeks of the season last year, while he was off on the non-football illness,
he did a parlay, at least one where he had Jacksonville losing, but who didn't make that bet?
Right. And he had the Falcons to win by all accounts. So, and the NFL has investigated, and there's been no integrity. No,
he didn't get inside
compromised.
Information.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
but still, with all the hoopla that comes around with that, it's a year suspension.
Now they're talking about point shaving. Like, oh, did he point shave? Did he do this stuff while he was playing? So, of course, Yep. The old sheriff said, this is way worse than hitting a woman or doing drugs. Yep. So,
who was the defensive back that said that? There was somebody came out. I can't remember. One defensive back came out and said,
Richard Sherman or somebody like that. I don't know.
No. It was like, Calvin Ridley gets a year. Got dudes out here beating their girls, and they get 4 to 6 games. But yeah,
it's a little backwards, but
it is. But still, for the integrity of the game thing, it's a year. Like,
got to protect the shield there, Roger.
So, let's talk about. We kind of talked about them. Let's talk about your Cowboys.
Hang on one second.
Franchise.
Hang on one second. I want to go back to the Falcons real quick.
Yes.
Is it just Kyle Pitts to the moon because they've got nobody else? Because Gage is a free agent.
Yep.
And then
Zacchaeus? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how to say it.
Zucchini?
Something.
Yeah.
So that's it, right? And then Mike Davis and Cordarrelle Patterson and a bad offensive line. That's going to be. Actually, they're going to be down.
Mike Davis was only on a 1-year deal. I don't even know if he came back. I don't know if they've signed him back.
Oh goodness!
Because Ryan's taking up that cap too.
They whittled his cap hit down to like $37 million. So they made a little room, but they're still in
because it was like 44, right?
Yes, it was going to be the highest cap hit ever for a quarterback, I think. Yeah, it was ugly.
They're gonna have to open Chick-fil-A on Sundays in that stadium. I'm just saying.
That'd be so nice. I wish it was open on Sunday. But they're in bad shape. But I mean, Kyle Pitts is literally the only weapon on that offense. I do worry that he just gets doubled like crazy. Yes. But he's still the only guy to throw to, so he's going to get open eventually, right?
No, and the thing is though, if you're paying value for him to be the tight end 1, okay, cool. But if you're paying for him to be a wide receiver 1 at the tight end position, I get nervous about that.
Yeah. Yeah,
and that's the problem with tight end. Like, as great as he might be, still players like Stephon Diggs, even if they have off games, are going to compare to him. I think at least. And last year, how many touchdowns did he get?
Oh, not many. Quietest 1,000-yard season I've ever seen from a tight end. He was the tight end 6.
Yes, was just very great.
He had one touchdown.
One touchdown.
One touchdown. He scored 176 points in PPR. 68 receptions, 110 targets. Good target numbers. Love to see that.
You said he scored what in PPR? 100 and what?
176 points.
Do you have the top wide receivers up by chance? Let me see if I can get it.
I can.
If you can, see if we can where he would have finished as a wide
Cooper
receiver.
Kupp 430. Okay, you want to see where he finished? What did I say? 100.
What is wide receiver 15?
Wide receiver 15 scored Chris Godwin 242, and he was hurt most of the season.
Yes, that's all I'm saying. He scored 100 and something. And
Brandon Ayuk and Marvin Jones Jr. would be the comparable, which are wide receivers 34 and 35.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you want to pay a 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick for that, or do you want to stream tight end?
I'll stream tight end.
Exactly. You go get a Mike Gesicki who got tagged by the Dolphins.
Yeah, that's right. He did get tagged. A couple of tight ends got tagged. Dalton Schultz got tagged.
Speaking of, Dalton Schultz got tagged, right?
Yeah.
Cowboys go out there and restructure some deals, right? Restructure Dags, restructure Zach Martin.
Yep.
Then they did a good old cap dump The old school cap dunk, boys.
Ugh,
Can't do
they're the
this in the
worst.
NBA because you got to match salaries. But in the NFL, we don't care.
Nope. The cap is a myth in the NFL.
Yeah. Cooper Kupp going into the Browns. And, man, they got a haul for him.
Amari Cooper going to the Browns.
Yeah, Mark. Sorry. Cooper Kupp. Sorry.
That'd
Amari
be
Cooper.
wild. Like Cooper Cup to the Browns? What?
So, all right. The Cowboys traded Amari Cooper to the Browns and a 6th-round pick. No, the Cowboys also gave up a 6th-round pick to get a 5th and 6th-round pick.
What a terrible trade.
That is a straight-up cap dump.
Oh,
That is like
absolutely.
the Brock Osweiler deal that they did. The who was
The Broncos did. Where they
yeah,
gave up
to the
picks just to
Texans.
get a salary. Yeah.
or to the no, it was to no, the Texans did it to the Browns
Oh, that's right. He moved. He moved
because
so
the
many
Texans
times.
signed
That's
him
right.
without ever interviewing him.
They're such a bad franchise. Yeah, Dallas. This is actually worse for the Browns side of things.
So let's talk about the Cowboys first. Let's just talk
Okay.
about Dak now coming in. Reports are, I don't know if it's true or not. I like to think it's true that Amari Cooper, after the playoff game, called him the Black Kirk Cousins, and Dak didn't like it too much.
That's right. I read that too.
So
It's true though.
if he thought Dak was bad, though, we'll get into the Brown side in a second.
Now he's got Baker.
We'll talk about that.
Oof.
Yeah, we'll talk
Oof.
about that. So obviously CD Lamb, right?
To the moon.
Straight up. What about Cedric Wilson? Is he coming back? He showed flashes when one of them were out when they were out last year.
So from what I've been reading and hearing on various podcasts is Dallas wants to run 12 personnel. So they
The two
might
tight
re-sign Gallup, who's coming off an ACL tear.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Good job. Let's re-sign him.
ACL tear with another injury as well, too, right? Didn't he have one to start the season?
Yes, but I
Because
don't
he
remember
missed
what it was.
beginnings. Yeah, but it was
Yeah.
another injury, just injury on injury.
Yeah. And then Cedric Wilson, free agent, probably not going to get re-signed because of the cap deal.
Mhm.
And then they franchise Dalton Schultz, and then they have Blake Jarwin under contract, although he's got
Yes.
a hip issue.
Yeah, so he's got some
I don't know.
hip issue that they might think he might miss the whole season.
Already? Wow.
Yes.
I didn't hear that,
You
but
know what the Cowboys are with these just degenerative issues.
yeah, they're real good at picking guys with degenerative issues. They're terrible. So the word on the street is they would just run 12 personnel. So they'd run Jarwin and Schultz, Zeke,
Yep.
Dak, and then
Or
CeeDee Lamb
was
and
Pollard
Gallup.
still there too?
And then, yeah, we'll probably see a lot of Tony Pollard because he's still under contract. So, which is, I mean, that's fine, but like, is the combination of Schultz and Jarwin better than Lamb and Amari and Gallup? I don't think so. I think that's a net negative, but that's me. But apparently,
And when
Jerry's
your corner-
enamored with him.
When your corner is either getting an interception or giving up a touchdown.
Diggs he just tries to. He's a ball hawk. Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah,
You need to play
does
safety
need
on
to-
top with him.
I'm super glad we let
He's a
Byron
Asante
Jones go
Samuel.
because he was just super solid, and he's just, what a waste. But
Yeah. But yeah, so there's the Cowboy stuff, and I don't think if Dak goes up, Dak stays about where Dak's at. They'll throw the ball a lot because the defense, like we said, they're an opportunistic defense, so they will.
I mean,
get
they
burnt.
played above their heads last year.
Yeah.
And Quinn is still there, which is good. Year 2,
Yes.
he can coach these guys up, so that's nice. I think they'll still be pretty solid. I
But I think
think
Dak's
the
still gonna throw
offense
the
is
ball
just
a lot.
going to regress. Honestly, I don't think they were not that good last year, and I don't think they're going to be a lot better this year, especially with the
But
removing
straight up for
Amari.
fantasy, Dak's going to still throw the ball a lot, which is still going to give him points.
Yeah, he'll be
Right?
fine.
Zeke, I worry about this cliff with Zeke. It's bad.
Well, supposedly that knee injury was a lot worse than we were led to believe, but at the same time, that's another
getting
injury
better?
on his.
You know what I'm saying? It's a knee injury. Is it going to get better?
No, it'll probably just
Exactly.
it'll probably get worse. And then Pollard looked like the better back anyway. I'm surprised they didn't try to ship out Zeke. To be honest with you, I don't know if anybody wants his contract, but
Sells jerseys, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to be honest, he sells jerseys. Like,
he does. Yeah, I mean, he still finished. He still finished in the top 7 for fantasy, so it's. I mean, not a terrible year, but it was a down year for kind of running back across the board.
yeah.
But
No. Let's talk about some trades now. We'll start with the weaker trade first, because I think we'll speed this up with Carson Wentz to we haven't decided it yet, but the Washington Commanders.
What a terrible name. Did that real estate guy still have all the names copyrighted?
No, because he had to pay like every year, like a franchising, like a fee to keep them
And
all.
that's the one they picked.
They went with Condors, dude.
They should have went with the Sentinels, like in the movie, and then got Keanu to come out for some goodwill. Just pay Keanu a boatload of money, come out there and throw a pass.
After we talk about Wentz, we'll talk about. I want to flip back to something we haven't talked about yet, but about celebrities in football. But yeah, so Carson Wentz goes to the Commanders. What are your thoughts here with this? Because Carson Wentz he had his best touchdown to interception ratio in a long time.
Yes. I think on paper, he looks better than Heineke, but in real life, it's almost a lateral move to me. So he might put up, for fantasy, he's going to put up better numbers than Heineke.
I don't think we want Wentz.
What's that?
What do we think about it with the other players? I don't think you really want Wentz as you don't want him as your starting quarterback.
No, you don't. But I think you see a little uptick with,
Terry?
If he's healthy, if Wentz is healthy, I mean, you see a little uptick with McLaurin, maybe with Logan Thomas.
What about Gibson?
They still need
check down.
What's that?
What about the check down to Gibson? He did a lot of check downs to Jonathan Taylor last year, and that really skyrocketed Jonathan Taylor's.
I like Gibson anyway.
But I think RB1 numbers are a little better now that I know Gibson's getting some solid, good, smart passes, quick passes.
Yeah, he could be. And hopefully this helps. If he's healthy, it helps out the other receiver they got from Carolina. I can't remember his name now.
Curtis
Samuel.
Yes, who was hurt most of the year.
Yeah. So, you'll see slight upticks for those guys, but I don't think you're going to see anything drastic for them. It's not like you're not upgrading from Heineke to Matt Stafford. So
I worry about the deep ball because we saw Wentz's best play last year was the throw it deep, get the PI call because you underthrew the ball and the wide receivers had to run back for it.
He was really good at that.
Wentz, yes. But it doesn't really move the needle for me for Wentz at all, but McLaurin, I just feel like he's a boomer bust wide receiver too, man. Like he can boom it up, but I don't think consistently he's going to be.
That's fair. Yeah, Wentz is so up and down. I just don't know what he's going to be. So it's a lateral move for me. I wouldn't expect to see, and you can hold out hope for like maybe Samuel, but I don't think it should help the running backs, and that's about it.
Do you get nervous because Washington is a place where veteran quarterbacks go to blow their legs out?
Well, then we're right back there with Heineke. So same. It's really not any different.
I'd be scared. I mean, they changed the team name, so maybe.
But the fact that Frank Reich, who was like, "This is my guy," I made him like I practically got him an MVP. Stuck his neck out there for him, and then he's like, "Man, I screwed up. I'm sorry." And they just shipped him off. Yeah,
gave up a first because it got moved up to a first because he played enough snaps to.
And then got 2/3 for him.
Yes.
So, that was weird.
So on the Colts side, we worried about Jonathan Taylor in this offense with no QB back there. Like we can say Wentz wasn't great, but what's there now?
Because now you're really stacking the box against him.
You're going to re-sign Jacoby Brissett.
Do they have it? They don't have a first, right?
They don't. The Eagles have it because he played enough stats.
Here's my dream scenario for JTT. Chris Ballard calls up Houston and says, "How many first round picks in perpetuity do you want?"
You want to start talking about Deshaun Watson now?
Yeah, like just give me I'll be like, here's 10 first round picks. For the next 10 years, you can have all of our first round picks. You give me Deshaun Watson. That's what I would do. Because they have a good defense. They have a solid defense. They have an excellent offensive line. They have good skill position players in Pittman, Taylor, Hines is okay. Who else do they have a receiver right now?
Well, Jack Doyle's gone. He retired. So
too bad. I know. Old Jack. Mullally sighting. Let's
Mullally, baby, to the moon. dude. Okay. No, I mean, yes, they could do this, but I don't know if they can get it done. It's going to be very hard to get it done.
Yeah. If I'm Chris Ballard, I see that window just shrinking.
So you brought up Deshaun Watson. Let's talk about it real quick since it's here. Deshaun Watson, the criminal case has been, they're not going to pursue it. Still might be a civil case out there, but now we're just talking money. We're not talking actual criminal charges. Yeah. NFL could still come down with some type of suspension for him based on just what transpired out of it. You don't have to be proven guilty to get suspended by the NFL. But he is still requesting a trade. Carolina has came out and said that they are going to send an offer as soon as he waives a no trade clause.
Yeah, an aggressive offer.
So I remember last year there were rumors of Christian McCaffrey in the deal for Deshaun Watson. There were rumors about it to Houston. Wolf. So that's why I said if McCaffrey stays with Carolina, because if he goes to Houston, I don't know.
Don't
think
like
about
that.
him and David Johnson on the same team. The RB1, RB2 from a couple.
Yeah, they'll both be hurt on the bench.
Yeah. But I don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson, but he does have a lot of options. There are a lot of quarterback needy teams out there.
Yes,
Tampa Bay, who haven't talked about Tom Brady retiring, but I'm guessing if you listen to this, you know Tom Brady has retired.
Hey, Kyle Trask is going to be just fine. Okay.
Okay. We got Tampa. We got New Orleans. Most teams, over half the teams would be very happy with it, with getting Deshaun Watson.
But the thing that the Colts have that a lot of those other teams don't have is a gargantuan amount of cap space to sign him to a
The Chargers
big
do
deal.
too. The Chargers have a ridiculous, but they don't need a quarterback.
No, they don't. They need run stoppers real bad. Please get Jordan Davis in the draft. Thanks.
Well, they went and got Khalil Mack, so that's going to eat up some of their stuff, but that doesn't talk about fantasy, so.
Yeah. Still, go get Jordan Davis, please. And that defense is going to be, I feel like that defense is going to be a monster this year. But anyway.
If it stays healthy.
Back to Deshaun Watson. Yeah.
Yes.
I hope he goes to the Colts. I think that's the win now ready team that could make it happen. They just have to make the offer and not give up anything crazy.
Teams that don't have cap room, but he could restructure the deal if they make a trade for him, and that could change the cap number, and he could get more guaranteed money in it. And
what's Carolina?
Rodgers just did it.
Rodgers a punk though.
I know. So Deshaun Watson could go anywhere. So I don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson, but he pretty much has his choice wherever he wants to waive the no trade clause for. The problem is the Texans could be the spiteful franchise and say, not enough for anybody.
They have asked for quite a bit already so far, and he wasn't cleared to play. Now he's cleared to play. Now they know he can play. Philly probably makes the most sense with 3 first-round picks. New York could make the move with a couple of first-rounders. The Giants, not the Jets. The Jets do have 2 first-rounders, but I don't think they're going to make a move. Although they could. They could say, hey, do you want Zach Wilson and a couple of firsts, and we'll take Deshaun off your hands.
Well, what has kind of set the quarterback market now is Russell Wilson getting traded. This is kind of
set. I'd see the day.
So Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick is getting sent to the Denver Broncos. The Seahawks are getting back Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, Noah Fant, and 2 first-round picks. And a second, 2 seconds, and a 5th.
Yeah. Wasn't Fant a first-rounder?
Can't remember off the top of my head.
To find out.
Let's talk about this deal real quick for what it means for fantasy. Are you worried about Russell Wilson? Honestly. He has not been good in a year and a half.
So, no. He has that up and down chunk, right? He's really good for 8 games. Yeah. It's usually in the first half. I think 1 year was in the second half.
He had the finger this year. He did have the finger injury, which never fully healed right.
No, that was a pretty ugly injury too.
Yeah.
Fant went in the first. He went 20th in the first round.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So, an additional first rounder. I don't know how Wilson works in this offense. Obviously, is it Hackett now, right? Who's their coach now? Hackett.
Yes.
I'm sure he wants to throw the ball more, right, than he did in Seattle. He wants to be the guy. So they have the receiving core to do it. Love that. Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy.
They didn't lose. All they lost from the receiving core is really Noah Fant.
Yeah, and then Tim Patrick. But they have Albert O something.
Alberto, baby.
Albert O. Let's just go with that. Yeah. So he's good, or he looks good at least.
Supposedly.
So they have the weapons there. Then you got Javonte. Love that. Can't stack the box for Javonte anymore. Fantastic.
Melvin Gordon still hasn't been signed back either, which now that they picked up Russell Wilson, their cap number did decrease a lot. So maybe they don't bring Gordon back, which now I really love Javonte Williams.
Right. 100%. The thing with this offense, though, or at least the receiver skill sets compared to what he had in Seattle, which is usually down the sidelines, right? Tyler Lockett, they had that good rapport. They just kind of made it up on the fly. And then DK just doing his thing with the straight line speed. Russell Wilson can see down the sidelines. He's not great at seeing over the middle. And that's kind of Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy's game. I feel like
Sutton can go deep. And Jerry Jeudy, they both can go deep. Honestly, Drew Lock, we don't know what they haven't had a good quarterback there to give them the ball deep. Right. And we don't know. Maybe they have great moves to get downfield, but they didn't have a good quarterback that could consistently get them the ball down there. So what was the point of running those
entirely
routes?
Possible.
2, we're thinking of Russell Wilson for the last 3 years. We're not thinking of the Doug Baldwin years, where Doug Baldwin was a wide receiver 1. You don't think Jerry Jeudy could be better than Doug Baldwin?
Oh, 100%.
Exactly.
All the pieces are there for him to still be very much a QB1. He's probably still a QB1. I don't think that changes. Okay. Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton could absolutely jump into that, high-end wide receiver 2, low-end wide receiver 1 conversation or category for that matter. It just depends on what Russell Wilson we get. Is it that guy with Doug Baldwin, or is it that guy from the last 3 years? Like, what is he going to do? And the offensive line is kind of a lateral move. They're not very. Denver's line isn't that good either. So,
but again, a good signal caller back there could make the line better.
100%.
A guy who can check. They trust to check in and out of plays. But you know what I'm saying? Like it helps.
My advice would be, don't go out and buy all the skill position players on Denver right like at the peak of the hype, right? Don't go give up a first rounder for Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton.
Which one is your wide receiver 1 out of those two teams? Which one do you want to own though? Right now, if you had to pick Jeudy or Sutton, who are you taking?
I think I would say Sutton.
I agree with that. I think Sutton. I think he has that deep ball.
I wouldn't say by much, because man, Jerry Jeudy with an accurate quarterback, he's such a clean route runner. He's so good.
Yes,
I really think he could make the leap. But Sutton is really explosive, so I would give him the edge right now.
Before we move to the Seattle side of it, one last thing is
rip.
John Elway steps down from player personnel, and they go out and get a quarterback that's under 6 foot tall. Bam! He gone. We're doing it.
The timing with the Rodgers thing was a little weird too, because I think he was their first choice.
Well,
he got signed, and then they were like 2 hours later, they're like, "We got Russ." So,
a lot of people compared it to when Carmelo Anthony went to the Knicks. The Nets had that right after he went to the Knicks. The Nets went out and traded for Darren Williams because they sent that exact same package to Denver for Carmelo, and they said no. So they're like, "Okay, well, we got all this stuff in there. Hey, you guys want it? All right, cool."
Sweet.
Like,
thanks.
It was the same deal, I think, that went both ways. It's just who accepted it.
It's crazy to think that it was once a Deron Williams versus Chris Paul argument. Not much of an argument now, is it?
And Deron Williams is now a UFC fighter.
Is he really?
Not UFC, but mixed martial arts, like he does. Like,
oh no. Okay.
Yeah. But
don't die.
Yeah.
Rule number 1.
Who was it? Okay, so let's talk about Seattle side of it real quick. And I forgot we never talked about the Brown side of the Amari deal. So
we'll come back to it.
Yep, Seattle. Drew Lock.
Is he the starter though?
Yes. That's Geno or Drew Lock. Who you got?
I think Geno is the guy right now.
That peaked
I think
trust?
After camp, everybody will be like, "Oh, Drew Lock's arm it's so strong." That seems to happen every year with him. So I think he'll impress in camp, and I'm sure DK would probably like the guy with the better arm if he's accurate. But I don't. This is it's horrible for everyone involved.
A lot of people. Mina Kimes was been tweeting out like, let's just go crazy and draft one of the quarterbacks this year and just YOLO this thing up because she's diehard Seattle fan. And
so her and Danny Kelly of The Ringer, I guess they were texting back and forth and they were like, why didn't we get Patrick Surtain?
Yep.
Probably should have got Patrick Surtain, especially the way like Carroll likes to run that. He works the defense from the back up to the front. Like, why not get Patrick Surtain, right? Like, screw Locke and Shelby. Like, leave those guys off. Give me Patrick Surtain and Noah Fant. Yeah. Or just give me Patrick Surtain without Noah Fant. I probably would have been okay with that. Because, let's face it, Seattle doesn't really use the tight end anyway. And he's not really an inline blocker like tight end.
No.
So, it doesn't really help what Carroll likes to do, which is run the football and stay on schedule and stuff. So, and then they were talking about Surtain. And then where was I going with this? What were we talking about?
They want to draft.
Oh, yes. Now they have the number 9 pick. So, Malik Willis or, probably not Kenny Pickett. I don't think they feel like
baby hands.
Baby hands. Yeah. Can he throw the ball? Like, he can throw the ball, right? Like, doesn't matter.
It'll be the smallest hands of anybody to take a
Joe Burrow's hands are small and he's fine.
They're not under 9 inches, though.
Yeah, well, they just need to massage it. And
no, they did. He's double jointed. They were pulling his joints and stuff and everything. Yeah.
Oh my God. Anyway, so I think Malik Willis after the combine. I know you said we talked off air about Willis.
Oh, you talk about it. No,
he was fantastic at the combine. Apparently, he is incredibly good at dissecting a defense and reacting on the fly to what coaches throw at him, and putting stuff up on the whiteboard. He threw really well. He didn't run, but I'm sure his pro day will impress. He's pretty quick. He's pretty athletic. He's about 6 feet tall. What do you weigh in at? Like 220, I think, something like that. 215. So he's good. He's got good size, not great size. He's not your prototypical quarterback, but man, he can move. And
Seahawks used to a prototypical quarterback. That's cool. You think of Seattle, you think of prototypical quarterbacks.
Right, exactly. So he kind of fits that, like, we just bring in a younger, cheaper version of what we can hopefully develop into Russell Wilson, right?
No, then there was also Rashad Penny is still a free agent, technically. They possibly go sign him back. But then there's also Chris Carson could be coming back from this neck injury that we worried about. He could be back this year. So I don't know if they bring back Penny. Carson's on the book, so that's bringing back. We'll see how much this team really cares for him.
I wonder if they restructure his deal, maybe to make some cap space, maybe turn it into a signing bonus. I don't know. They kind of need to re-sign Penny if they don't have Carson, though. If they're not sure about Carson, they probably should re-sign
The problem
Penny.
is if you want to restructure Carson's deal, if he wants to take less money, he would have to get more guaranteed money for the long run, and chances are they're not going to want to sacrifice their future, which is probably what they're tanking for. So we'll see how it goes. Let's talk about the Browns real quick. Amari Cooper's going there. They're allowing Jarvis Landry to seek trade opportunities.
Yeah, they got the younger, cheaper version. Or younger, better version, I guess, in Amari.
Yes, I don't know if he's cheaper. I was going to say, I don't
he's
think
not cheaper. No, he's not cheaper.
How long till Amari Cooper blows up on Baker Mayfield?
Oh, when he calls him Kirk Cousins 2.0?
Or whenever he just does anything like...
man. Poor Amari. He's been shipped around, 3 times now? He was Oakland, Dallas.
Yeah, Oakland, Dallas. He's no Brandon Cooks, but come on.
Yeah. Brandon Cooks commands a first rounder every time he gets traded. So
yes,
Amari didn't even get that. I like it for Baker. He's a clean route runner. He runs
is Baker the quarterback there though?
Who else do they have? They're not going to draft anybody. They draft at 17. No.
Well, I know, but are they going to try to move away from him?
How?
Dude, the NFL rumors have been crazy. There are rumors that Arizona might move away from Kyler Murray, which blows my mind.
Weird.
Yeah. I think that's just people being upset that they lost a playoff game.
That's
and
fair.
He played bad and like you were in the playoffs thanks to him. But
Cleveland. Okay. Oh, Cleveland drafts 13th.
Yes.
I mean, you could get a quarterback from this class there. I wouldn't, but you could.
No, it was just been a lot of talks about possibly moving from Baker. Baker's not the future. Baker's not going to win you the big games, and which I think is very true.
I don't think he's going to lose you any games, but man, it's a steep drop off from
Odell's
him.
not washed. We thought Odell was washed, and he proved he is not.
We'll see if he plays how he is when he comes back. He's probably pretty good still, but that's not the offense. I don't think that's the offense that Stefanski wants to run there, right? He wants to run the ball. He wants to play action, things like that.
But
this is obviously
he also wants Stefanski wants a quarterback that'll take a shot, and Baker will not take the shots. He has become a check down, safe throw. Like he has become the full on game manager.
He has. This is a huge blow to Amari Cooper owners. Now, granted, he was only 27th last year. He finished with 200 points, but even still, he's typically 1,000-yard guy. He's going to get around 100 receptions usually if he gets enough targets. He had 8 touchdowns last year. That's a good number for him. I'm sure he's done probably around that the last couple of years. I think he's top 10. I think I read he's top 10 in yards, touchdowns, and receptions in the past like 3 or 4 seasons. So he's not a slouch. He's not Devontae Adams. He's not Cooper Kupp this most recent year or anything like that. He's not going to, blow your skirt up like that. But
no, but he has went from the straight up boomer bust guy that he was in the Raiders to being a consistent wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. You can start every week. Mm-hmm. And now I just don't know what he's going to be here.
Yeah. And he's on the field. Like he's missed 4 games in his entire career. So he's very durable. He's a clean route runner. He's got good hands. It's an upgrade for Baker.
From wide receiver U. He's from wide receiver U. I mean, Alabama's turned into wide receiver U.
They really have.
10 years.
Yep. I thought for sure he would end up in New England, which would have been, he would have been like the most Belichickian dude ever because he doesn't really talk. He just brings his lunch pail to work and he does his thing. He would have been great for Mac Jones because Mac's, super accurate, not a huge arm, but like super accurate.
No, but he can still take and he can take a slant to the house. Yeah.
Yeah. And they've missed on receiver how many times? The thing for the Browns that I don't understand, and it is an upgrade for Baker. It could help. Who are the other 2 guys there catching the ball right now? That came on last year with all the injuries.
Peoples-Jones?
Donovan Peoples-Jones. And there was another dude too, and I can't remember who it is.
I can't remember. Donovan Peoples-Jones, I think it was their wide receiver 1 on their team, like yardage-wise. And it wasn't a lot.
Let me look up their depth chart real quick. Rashard Higgins? Is that it?
Maybe.
That doesn't sound right. Maybe that was right. I could have swore there was somebody else there. Anyway, either way, it's an upgrade for Baker. He's going to probably play better than, a hurt OBJ or Jarvis Landry at this point in his career. Jarvis is just kind of falling off a cliff. And then Donovan Peoples-Jones gives him a downfield threat. And then they're still going to run the ball. I mean, you don't have to worry. I don't think you have to worry about Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt. They're going to get theirs. Baker will be, you should not draft him. Even in a super flex league, you probably shouldn't play him or draft him. And Amari, oh boy, the fall off's going to be probably pretty big. So don't worry about him either. I mean, if you can get good value on him, like what would you say, like the 6th or 7th round?
So Amari Cooper?
Yeah.
Even then, I don't like it, man. I think people are going to reach for him in like the 4th or 5th round because he's a wide
people see
receiver
value there.
Plays. I don't see it, man. I think he's going to be a low, like at best, low end wide receiver 2.
Yeah, it's going to. I mean, he was 27th last year with Dak. In that offense. So yeah, I don't know. It's not great for Amari, but it is an upgrade for them, especially for as cheap as they got them. Although they could have got him after they released him. I'm not sure why they gave the draft picks when they could have just signed him.
Well, because where you're setting him waiver, people might have thought he might not have cleared waivers. Because teams have cap room right now, and teams could have just claimed him off waivers and just taken the cap hit, and then. So that's probably why it's just a 5th round pick. So I don't think Dallas ever was really going to release him. I think they were going to just take whatever they could get draft wise.
Sure.
Any pick compensation.
That could be true. And they didn't have any leverage. Everybody knew he was going to be a cap casualty. So
yeah, I don't think what would have happened if the Chargers would have claimed him with all the cap room they got or something crazy. And you'd have put him opposite Keenan Allen with Mike Williams. And
that's a scary offense anyway. So
yeah, I'm not saying that would have happened, but
yeah,
there are teams right now with cap room to burn.
Mm-hmm. A few of them, not many, but a few of them.
Look at your teams with rookie quarterbacks, because the Niners are probably gonna make a Jimmy G deal to get out from that money.
There's a lot of rumors of him moving. Where do you think he goes?
I see him going to the Colts.
Ooh, that's a lateral move to me, but I don't think he's any better than Wentz.
But if you can, he's younger than Wentz. Actually, is he younger than Wentz? I think he is younger than Wentz. But
Carson's almost 30.
Yeah, I think he's younger. So I think Jimmy G's still. He's younger. Health has been the problem with Garoppolo. Honestly, you want to get down to it's just health. You just need him on the field. I don't think he's been terrible. He's not been great, but he hasn't been terrible. And for the way their offense is built, they don't need a big arm quarterback. They don't have dudes going deep. Their number one wide receiver is Michael Pittman, who's not he's a possession guy.
Yeah. Well, Carolina could use him, right? Bradford was not good last year. They could draft somebody at 6, but I think they would probably want a veteran. Washington obviously solved their quarterback problem. Can't even say it with a straight face.
They did.
New Orleans, he could be a Saint, right? That wouldn't be too bad.
They can't take the cap hit. They can't put him on the books. They can't restructure to take the money he takes.
They'll figure it out. Come on,
his cap hit is
they're only $6 million over the cap per the.
That's right now.
Yeah,
and Jimmy G's I think he's a $20 million cap. What's Jimmy G's cap hit? You got it real quick?
I'll look it up right now.
His cap hit ain't pretty. Because remember, he signed that big extension when he got signed.
Spell Garoppolo. 2022 cap hit. Ooh, let's see. Base salary is $24 million. Prorated bonus 1.4. I don't know what they would have to pay him.
But you know what I'm saying? It's probably it's close to a $20 million cap hit.
Yeah, but if they cut
because
him,
he signed that big deal,
right? But San Francisco front loaded the deal. Here's the thing: none of this is guaranteed this year. If they cut him, they save $25 million on the cap, and they only pay him 1.4.
Yeah.
So San Francisco walks away for almost nothing if they just get rid of him.
The thing is I think they're still let's look. They had a good playoff run last year. They had a good shot to be in the Super Bowl with Jimmy G. And I think even though they have Trey Lance, they know what they have with Jimmy G. Unless you're going to get something back, you can't just dump it. Because if you go out there and then Trey Lance is YOLO balling it and putting the defense on the field and 3 and out in a bunch.
Yeah, it's a scary proposition to move on from, that status quo. But I think that's what they're going to do. Because
worst case scenario with Jimmy G is that Trey Lance is, not worse than him, which I don't think anybody thinks he'll be worse than him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you don't want to lose it. There's nothing to lose right now. They're not in a cap problem where they need to get him rid of him. It's not like the Dallas situation.
No, they're not.
They will be next year and the year after, but right now they've worked it out okay.
Oh no, San Francisco's over the cap right now. Actually,
they're over it, but
yeah,
the cap's going to go up too. Is this projected cap for next year too?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they can work it. They'll work it out. They set up a release and stuff.
Because what is it, $208 million this year? Their total cap liabilities are 216 million. So they're about 8-9 million over the cap or so.
Yeah.
That's not good.
They can work it out.
Who are they paying? Kittle, Armstead, Trent Williams. They're pretty good. Nick Bosa.
But there'll be some people that move.
Garoppolo's the highest paid guy on that team. That's wild.
Yes. Remember, he signed that huge extension once they traded for him.
Yeah. They were smart, though. They front-loaded it. Literally, they can walk away from him for almost nothing. If they walk away. If they have the cojones to walk away.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
All righty. Anything else you want to talk about? It's been a while. We got everything.
Yeah. I think that's good for tonight.
Do you think Brady hangs it up? Do you think Brady hangs it up?
I think he does. I think he's really done. Yeah.
You don't think the draft's going to happen and he's going to, like, people are going to start reporting to training camp and he'll be like, running it back, boys.
Nah, I think it's for real this time. Because what was his statement after? He's being a dad at like a backup level or something like that. I think Giselle finally got to him and was like, "Come on, dude! Like, you're the winningest quarterback ever. You have every record. He's got the yardage record. He's got the touchdown record. He's got. I mean, what doesn't the guy have?
What if? Hear me out. What if San Francisco gets rid of Garoppolo, brings in some good piece?
Okay, he might do that.
He wants to go back home.
He might do that.
Yeah,
that's pretty tempting.
My only, because he can go anywhere. I think he's not under contract with the Bucs because he kept doing those 1-and-1s and stuff. I don't think technically he's under contract with the Buccaneers.
Well, that's
because he restructured that deal, and he always restructured those deals with his free out because he's been doing that even with New England with these like easy outs for himself.
Yeah, his 2023, 2024, and 2025 years are all voidable. So technically,
he can
he's
void
off
his
the
own
hook.
traps because he did the same thing with the Patriots, and he's been doing it with the Bucs since he went there. Like, hey, I will stay here, but I can walk whenever. I want. The dude knows what he's doing. He's been doing it for more years than anybody else.
Yeah, it's funny when you hear these guys talking at the combine, like, "Yeah, man, I grew up watching Tom Brady." And it's like,
some of them weren't even born.
Yeah, it's wild.
When he was drafted.
All this from the Sporting News. I'll have to read that later. Some people don't think he'll stay retired. It's interesting.
There's been rumors out there, like,
the Buccaneers are leaving the door open for Tom. Isn't completely ruling out a
he's not going to come back there. We didn't talk about it, but Chris Godwin got franchise tagged for the second year in a row, and he's coming back from an ACL injury. So
it's getting expensive. I predicted that those guys would finish in the top 12, and it was so close.
Yeah,
Mike Evans finished 9, and then if Chris Godwin had been healthy, he would have been like a top 5 guy probably.
Yeah. Oh, he was balling out.
I would have been right. It's too bad. He still had almost 100 catches and 1,100 yards.
Oh yeah, dude, he was setting a pace for like destroying like catches and stuff.
Yeah,
but
Mike Evans 14 touchdowns. That's crazy. Good for him.
All right, let's send this home.
Send it home.
Thanks for listening to Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Brad. You can catch me on Twitter at Tag Jones. Eric is at GunsofL19 for all you Stephen King lovers out there.
Yeah.
Catch the show at Empty Wagon FF on Twitter. Yes, and Josh may be back with us. He's a busy man right now. We love you, Josh. And we will talk to you all later.
Bye.